The BRAINWORX BX console Focusrite SC is based on the iconic Focusrite Studio console. Only 10 of these consoles were ever made. It includes an EQ, compressor limiter, de-esser, expander gate, and more. Plus, the included TMT ensures authentic analog sound in the box. The BRAINWORX BX Console N is based on the incredible Neve VXS analog console. It includes a compressor limiter, expander gate, EQ, high and low pass filters, and more. It also features 72 TMT channels to ensure authentic Neve analog tone. The BRAINWORX BX Console SSL 4000E and SSL 4000G. Based on the legendary Solid State Logic 4000E and G consoles and officially approved by Solid State Logic. These channel strips each have 72 TMT channels of SSL goodness, EQ, compressor limiter, expander gate, filters, and everything else you need to nail that authentic SSL analog sound. BRAINWORX BX Console SSL 9000J is based on the Solid State Logic 9000J console. It offers an extended low end and open top end when compared to its predecessors. This desk has been used on some of the biggest pop, hip-hop, rock, and orchestral recordings from the 90s, 2000s, and beyond. The Lindell Channel X is a collection of 3 units based on Lindell hardware: the 6X500 preamp, the PEX500 EQ, which is based on a Pultec, and the 7X500, which is based on an 1176 style compressor limiter. You can even arrange the modules however you want in the rack, and each of these modules are available as individual plugins. The Lindell Audio 80 series is based on the iconic Neve 8028 console. It includes preamp, EQ, filters, compressor, gate expander, and line amp models. Nail the legendary sound of the Neve 1073, 1084, 2254, and 1272 right in your DAW. It also includes 32 channels of TMT for the most authentic analog sound. The BRAINWORX BX Oberhausen is an analog synthesizer based on the Oberheim SEM synth, but it goes beyond the hardware to include built-in effects, arpeggiator, TMT, FM, mid-side, and more. DS Thorn is a modern synth instrument built on spectral synthesis. It includes over 600 presets that get you started, 3 LFOs, 3 ADSR, 2 multi-stage envelopes, built-in effects, glitch sequencer, and plenty more tools for crafting your sound. Unfiltered audio, Lion is a beast. This synthesizer is impressively deep, creative, and sounds amazing. It features over 20 oscillator modes, tons of built-in effects from Biome, and an unlimited amount of possible sounds. BRAINWORX BX Boom lets you quickly tune, attenuate, or boost the impact of your kick drum. You can even use it in a full mix or drum loop. BRAINWORX BX Stereo Maker is a mid-side upmixing plugin that converts any mono signal to stereo and keeps them 100% mono compatible. This is one of my personal favorite plugins to use on guitars for a wide wall of sound, and it works equally as well on piano, vocals, or any mono source. BRAINWORX BX Subsynth is based on the DBX 120XP subharmonic synth enhanced with BRAINWORX Magic. It will generate bass frequencies lower than the source to produce thunderous low end that will rattle windows and shake your bones. Alicia Envelope is a dynamic transient shaper that allows you to enhance or tame the attack and/or sustain of an instrument. Use dual band mode for more targeted frequency processing and EQ mode to turn it into a high and low shelf EQ. Noveltech Vocal Enhancer does just what it says. It enhances vocals with just a few controls that automatically adjust a complex set of parameters in the back end. With only a few tweaks, your vocals can instantly sound pro. The SPL de-essers include a single band and dual band de-esser plugin. They are some of the most musical sounding de-essers around.
Do you
SPL Reverb Plus allows you to quickly reduce room tone, reverb, the ring of a snare, apparent distance of a mic, or sustain of any instrument with just a couple of controls. SPL Drum Exchanger makes drum replacement easy. It comes with almost a gig of pro samples, or you can load your own drum samples. Completely replace your drums or blend with the original sound to layer. SPL Moverb is a sustain enhancement tool. Draw out the ring of a snare, prolong the reverb of a space, or extend the tone of a room, for example. SPL Transient Designer Plus is a transient shaper that allows you to adjust the attack and sustain of a transient independent of level. It's great on drums and cymbals, guitar, bass, piano, and even strings, vocals, and any other source. Unfiltered Audio Biome, or Build Your Own Modular Effect, is a collection of over 40 effect modules with over 400 presets to get you started. Everything from reverb to compression to pitch shift to delay to glitch and everything in between can be done with Biome. It's truly a unique plugin. Unfiltered Audio Dent 2 is at its heart a distortion and saturation plugin, but it goes much further by adding LFOs, modulation, different types of distortion, and a bunch of presets to get you going. Unfiltered Audio Indent 2 is an intuitive saturation and tone plugin with a powerful modulation system. Unfiltered Audio Fault is a spectral shaper that lets you manipulate pitch and time. It also includes LFOs and modulation for even more interesting effects. Unfiltered Audio Spec Ops is dozens of plugins in one. Glitch, freeze, stutter, expand, stereoize, pitch shift, delay and reverb type effects, and more. All with this single plugin. Unfiltered Audio Triad is Biome's multi-band big brother. Process the low, mid, and high with different effects for a truly unique sound. Use everything from reverb, delay, pitch shift, glitch, distortion, EQ, compression, filters, modulation, and so much more. Unfiltered Audio Zip is a creative compressor and solves complex audio challenges fast. It provides both compression and downwards expansion. It also has unique analysis modes like amplitude, quietness, brightness, darkness, noisiness, and tonalness. Plus, there's modulation. Acme Audio Opticom XLA3 is an optical compressor with harmonic colorization. It's based on the hardware unit of the same name. BRAINWORX BX Limiter is a low-latency, highly accurate limiter with saturation on board. BRAINWORX BX Master Desk is a high-end analog mastering system in a single plugin. Literally everything run through this plugin sounds better. It's one of my favorite plugins of all time. It just sounds good. BRAINWORX BX Opto is an optical compressor based on the best aspects from legendary optical compressors and combines them into this single musical compressor. BRAINWORX BX Townhouse Bus Compressor is based on one of the rarest compressors around. There is only one unit ever made, and it was built from SSL console parts. Use it on your mix bus in conjunction with an SSL console and experience the awesomeness. BRAINWORX BX XL V2 is a mid-side mastering limiter that lets you apply limiting to the mid-low, mid-high, and sides separately, as well as a brick wall limiter for the stereo output. The Elysia Alpha Compressor is based on the $10,000 hardware unit. This is a mastering-grade compressor with a sophisticated and complete set of dynamic controls. You'll also get the mix version, which is stripped down and quick to use on individual instruments. The Elysia Impressor is a compressor that also provides creative functions. It has a true feed-forward design and allows negative ratios. Compress lightly without any artifacts, or use it to create heavy pumping and breathing effects. The Lindell Audio 254E is a compressor and limiter based on the legendary Neve 2254E. This thing is drenched in vintage tone. The Lindell Audio 354E is a multi-band compressor based on the Neve 2254E. Use it for mastering or throw it in nuke mode to enlarge individual tracks. The Lindell Audio 7X500 is a FET compressor with classic 1176 sound. It's also a part of Lindell Channel X. Mag Audio Magnum K is a dual compressor with parallel EQ, soft limiter, mid-side, and 20 channels of TMT. The Millennia TCL2 is an optical compressor limiter with a selectable tube or solid-state signal path. It's based on a hardware unit. Pro Audio DSP DSMV3 is a dynamic spectrum mapper that allows you to capture the sound of one track and apply it to another track dynamically. Purple Audio MC77 is a compressor limiter based on the legendary 1176, but with added modern components. Shadow Hill's mastering compressor is based on the $8,000 hardware unit. It has optical and discrete compression, 3 different output transformers, parallel mix, sidechain, and more. Shadow Hill's mastering compressor, Class A, is based on the limited edition hardware unit. Only 50 were ever made. It has optical and discrete compression, 3 different output transformers, parallel mix, sidechain, and more. This version is punchier than the classic green version. SPL Attacker Plus is the same transient shaper taken from the attack knob of the SPL Transient Designer Plus. Increase the attack of a transient even when mixed at lower levels. SPL Iron is a variable bias tube compressor with a parallel dual tube circuit, sidechain, 6 rectifier settings, TMT, parallel mix, and a ton more features. Unfiltered Audio G8 or gate is more than just a standard gate. Use it to create rhythmic patterns or stutter effects, shape transients, and even trigger with MIDI. Vertigo VSC2 is called the Mercedes of VCA compressors. It's based on the $6,000 hardware version. The AMAG EQ200 is a transparent 7-band EQ inspired by legends like the GML 8200 and vintage Soundtech EQs. But it goes further than the hardware with features like mid-side, mono maker, and 20 channels of TMT. BRAINWORX BX2098 EQ is based on the famous Neve-designed EMEC 9098 EQ. It's a British-style EQ with mid-side, 20 channels of TMT, THD control, and lots of analog tone. BRAINWORX BX Clean Sweep Pro is a high-pass and low-pass filter with a spectrum analyzer and different filter types. BRAINWORX BX Digital V3 is the mother of mid-side EQ. It's a transparent and accurate EQ with advanced features like bass and presence shift, dynamic EQ, proportional Q filters, mono maker, and more. BRAINWORX BX Dyne EQ V2 is a dynamic mid-side equalizer with several different types of filters and advanced features. BRAINWORX BX Hybrid V2 is a multi-band EQ with analog-style filters, mono maker, stereo width, bass and presence shift, and more. BRAINWORX BX Pan EQ is a different kind of EQ that allows you to boost or cut discrete pan positions in the stereo field. Dangerous Music Bax EQ is a mastering-grade Baxandall equalizer with a smooth, clean, and natural sound. Alicia Music Q is a 2-channel, musical-sounding parametric equalizer based on the $5,000 hardware unit. The Lindell Audio PEX500 is a musical Pultec-styled EQ based on the hardware from Lindell. The PEX500 is also a part of Channel X. The Lindell Audio TE100 is based on the Klein & Hummel UE100 hardware with 14 tubes powering a single EQ. It's known for its warm and musical curves and has been described as a Pultec on steroids. Louder Than Liftoff Chop Shop is an easy-to-use EQ that can address tonal issues and sweeten your tracks. Moog Audio EQ2 and EQ4 are equalizer plugins with a musical tone and the famous airband. EQ4 features wide bands, while EQ2 allows more control over center frequencies and bandwidth. Millennia NSEQ2 is a mastering-grade parametric EQ with vacuum tube and solid-state signal paths. SPL EQ Ranger Plus is like having 181 EQ modules in one. Choose a genre or instrument, and your center frequencies are set and ready to adjust. SPL Pass EQ is a passive EQ with 72 filters on 6 bands per channel and mid-side processing on board. ADA STD1 Stereo Tapped Delay is based on the hardware delay from the 80s. It features an array of 6 Bucket Brigade delays, panning, modulation, and LFO. BRAINWORX BX Delay 2500 is an awesome-sounding, creative, and easy-to-use delay with advanced features like transient shaping, mid-side, modulation, ducking, and distortion. BRAINWORX BX Rooms is an advanced mid-side reverb with EQ and modulation. Start with a reverb type and dial in the perfect space. Unfiltered Audio Instant Delay is an echo powerhouse in a tiny package with built-in filtering, saturation, and modulation. Unfiltered Audio Sandman is a delay plugin that does everything you've ever wanted in a delay, plus much, much more. Unfiltered Audio Sandman Pro is a Swiss Army knife delay unit that doubles as a transmogrifying time machine for your sonic travels. You can literally spend hours with this unique delay plugin. The Ampeg B15N is based on the 30-watt 1x15 all-tube bass amp that's been heard on hit records from the 60s to today. It features 2 preamp circuits, one from 1964 and one from 1966. The Ampeg SVT3 Pro bass amp is a digital replica of the real amp featuring a tube preamp and solid-state power section. The tone of this bass amp is huge, yet tight and articulate. It's one of my personal favorites. The Ampeg SVT-VR is based on the original all-tube 300-watt bass amp and packs authentic SVT tone. Everything about this bass amp is perfect, and it's another of my personal favorites. The Ampeg V4B is based on the reissue of the 1971 100-watt all-tube SVT bass amp. It has a thick tube tone and is officially endorsed by Ampeg. BRAINWORX BX Bass Dude is a bass or guitar amp based on the 1960s Fender Bassman. BRAINWORX BX Mega Dual is probably the best Mesa Boogie dual rectifier guitar amp plugin around. Plug in your guitar and it sounds just like a real amp in the room. BRAINWORX BX Mega Single is a guitar amp plugin based on the Mesa Boogie single rectifier, and just like the dual rec, it's the best emulation of this amp currently around. BRAINWORX BX Rock Rec version 3 is a collection of 8 amps in a single package. You'll find the Marshall JCM 800-2210 Engel 530 tube preamp, Mesa Boogie Rectoverb 50 watt, and the custom Metal BX 666. The Chandler GAV-19T will produce some of the sweetest guitar tones imaginable. From clean to crunchy, it sounds just like an amp in the room. The Diesel Herbert is a metal monster, and with this officially approved model from BRAINWORX, you can harness all of its metal glory in your DAW. You'll get authentic diesel tone from clean to raging metal. It's one of my favorite guitar amp plugins of all time. It's literally perfect. The Diesel VH4 captures authentic diesel tone from clean to ultra high gain. It's an exact model of the real amp and is officially endorsed by Diesel. You won't find a better model of a VH4 anywhere. The Engel E646VS is a metal beast. It's officially approved by Engel and faithfully captures the tone and feel of the real amp. The clean channel of this amp is quite amazing. It's sparkling, warm, and articulate, and the lead channel is modern metal heaven. Again, it's literally perfect and another of my personal favorites. The Engel E765RT gives you a nice warm tone for clean and crunch and can venture into high gain territory, though not nearly as far as the E646VS. This amp is great for jazz, blues, rock, and vintage lead tones. The Friedman BE100 is a modern take on the classic Marshall plexiglass amp. This amp is perfect for classic and hard rock, metal, punk, and even country and blues. The Friedman DS40 is your path to the authentic guitar tones from the 60s and 70s. The Dirty Shirley is influenced by the design of the classic Marshall JTM 45. Overdrive Supreme 50 delivers crystal clear cleans and harmonically complex overdrive sounds. This amp is the crown jewel of Fuchs amplification and officially approved by Andy Fuchs. Fuchs Train 2. Achieve classic train wreck guitar sounds with this officially approved amp model. It's known for its harmonically rich, clean and crunch tones and aggressive rock and roll character. The ADA Flanger is based on the original 1979 version and the 2009 reissue of this famous flanger pedal. BRAINWORX BX Black Disc 2 is based on the Rat 2 distortion pedal from Proco Sound. BRAINWORX BX Blue Chorus 2 is based on the Boss CE2 chorus pedal that was built in Japan during the late 80s and early 90s. BRAINWORX BX Disc Orange is based on the Boss DS1 distortion pedal. BRAINWORX BX Green Screamer is based on the most popular overdrive pedal of all time, the Ibanez TS808 Tube Screamer. BRAINWORX BX Metal 2 is an exact emulation of the famous Boss MT2 distortion pedal. BRAINWORX BX Opto Pedal is a slimmed-down version of the full BX Opto compressor plugin with a guitar stomp pedal feel. BRAINWORX BX Yellow Drive is an overdrive pedal based on the popular Boss SD1. BRAINWORX BX Shed Spread allows you to control the panning, stereo width, and tone of stereo guitar tracks and buses, create powerful, wide guitar tracks, or use it on other stereo sources like piano or even a background vocal bus. BRAINWORX BX Tuner is a guitar and bass tuning plugin with an easy-to-read interface. Dear Reality, Dear VR Music allows you to mix your tracks anywhere in 3D space. It supports 2-channel binaural and 4-channel ambisonics and stereo playback formats. Dear Reality, Dear VR Pro allows you to mix your tracks anywhere in 3D space, but with even more features than Dear VR Music. It includes 46 virtual environments, occlusion control, playback in 2-channel binaural, 4-channel FOA, 9-channel SOA, 16-channel TOA in AmbiX or Fuma, and surround all the way up to 13.1. Fiedler Audio Stage gives you complete control of your stereo field, panning, size, width, color, and more. Shope's Mono Upmix lets you quickly and easily upmix any mono source to stereo 2-channel or LCR 3-channel and adjust the panning and depth. Blackbox Analog Design HG2 lets you add authentic tube saturation and harmonics that enhance your tracks in an almost magical way. It's based on the $3,000 hardware unit. BRAINWORX BX Refinement lets you reduce harshness and add sparkle and tube-like tone to your tracks. BRAINWORX BX Saturator V2 is a multi-band, mid-side saturator suitable for mixing and mastering. Add saturation in different amounts and different frequency bands. Alicia Character is a saturation plugin based on the $1,500 hardware unit. It includes a mixed version and a master version. Alicia Phil's Cascade is an esoteric saturation and distortion plugin made from a variety of vintage components and is capable of many unique tones you won't find in other saturators. Lindell Audio 6X500 is a preamp plugin with EQ based on the Lindell hardware unit, known for its smooth, creamy gain and color. It's also a part of Channel X. Noveltech Character intelligently enhances the tone and dynamics of your tracks. It includes 3 modes for different types of instruments and automatically makes most everything sound better. SPL Twin Tube is a saturation and harmonic enhancing plugin that delivers true tube and tape saturation sound. SPL Vitalizer MK2T is an unmasking EQ that uses psychoacoustic and audiometric principles to enhance the sonic quality of your tracks. Vertigo VSM3 is a mastering-grade saturation and color plugin with 2 independent virtual circuits. It's based on the $7,000 hardware unit. Adapter Audio Metric AB allows you to compare your mix to up to 16 reference tracks with a simple click. BRAINWORX BX Control V2 is a monitoring tool and mid-side matrix with built-in mono maker and stereo width control. BRAINWORX BX Meter is a sophisticated peak, RMS, and dynamic range meter with stereo, link, and mid-side modes. SPL Hawkeye is a high-precision audio analyzer packed with all the meters, scopes, and analyzers you need to see everything that's going on in your mix, groups, and tracks. DeskQ Gig Performer 3 PA Edition runs all of your Plugin Alliance plugins at near zero latency without the need to open your DAW. Create simple or complex chains of plugins to achieve just the sound you're after. Use your plugins live on stage for rehearsal or practice, or even podcasting and streaming.